Hello and welcome to this class with me, Damian Seronkoma. Today we want to look at how computers behave and how they are operated. When you turn on your computer system, you're going to see it as you see the screen. However, there are a number of things that you need to look at before you actually start up your computer system. One of them, you need always to check your sitting posture. Ensure that you are sitting upright to avoid chest pains and backbone pains. Secondly, you need always to ensure that your hands are dry to avoid electricity shocks. Otherwise, if your hands are wet, you're more likely to get electricity shocks. 3. You always need to check and verify that all your cables that you are using on your computer system are insulated. You don't have leakage of any wires. Otherwise, if you have any leakage of any wires, more likely you'll get electricity shocks. Next, what you need to always put in your mind is that all gadgets connected to your computer system are firmly attached to your computer system. These gadgets normally connect behind your computer system. So those gadgets are what we normally call computer peripherals. Gadgets in such categories include your mouse, your keyboard, your printer, your flash disk, your memory stick, your memory card, mention it. So as long as you have your computer system about to start, make sure that all gadgets that are attached on your computer system are firmly attached to their ports, the holes at which they connect. They are known as computer ports. P-O-R-T-S, ports. Now, it's time to check and ensure that everything is set like we have mentioned. If everything is set, simply comfortably sit on your chair, have the desk and have your computer placed onto that desk. Now it is time to turn on your computer system. To turn on your computer system, all you need to do is to check, look around your computer system and notice this icon. This icon appears with a 0 and a 1, which makes the icon of a power on button. So this icon will appear on the systems unit and the monitor. Check, verify that all the power is connected to your systems unit and your monitor. If the connection is successful, then power on at the wall. Next, turn to your computer system and turn on the systems unit plus the monitor. Once these switches are powered on, the computer system is going to make what we call a boot process. Booting means starting up a computer system. There are two types of booting. One is what we call cold booting. Cold booting is starting up a computer system. It's just a process of starting up a computer system. However, whenever a computer system has been operational for some time, it could be like an hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 5 hours. As long as your computer system has been running for a long time and you decide to restart it, you are performing what we call warm booting. Warm booting is a process of restarting a computer system, while cold booting is a process of starting a computer system that has not been on. Once your computer has been booted up, your computer system is going to run what we call a power on self-test, abbreviated as POST. This POST procedure is supposed to check whether all devices connected on your computer system receive enough power and they are properly functional. They are properly attached to your computer system and they are fully functional. So that's the time when you turn on your computer system, and within just seconds you'll see the keyboard puts on one light or three lights, and then those three lights go off automatically. Then you will notice that the mouse will do the same thing, as long as your mouse is an opto mouse or optical mouse. So whenever you have turned on your computer system, these two gadgets are going to light up and then the lights will go off. What the system is checking for is whether these gadgets, the input devices, are attached on your computer system and they are fully functional. The first signal that is normally sent in the POST procedure or POST routine is that the signal is going to be sent to the motherboard to check whether the motherboard receives enough power or not. Once the motherboard confirms to receiving power that is required of the system to start, the motherboard is normally going to make two beeps. Once you hear the two beeps, the computer has confirmed that it is receiving enough power on the motherboard. Now the signal is sent to the keyboard and the mouse. Then the same signal is sent to the printers and all attached peripherals. They normally send a signal back to the system to confirm that yes, we are properly attached and we are fully functional, we are ready to start. Then the system will load the operating system. The operating system, like we have said before, the operating system is a set of logical instructions programmed to manage and control all hardware components connected to your computer system. The operating system is a software that makes the computer operational. It makes the computer start. It makes the computer function. It makes the computer devices come to life. So without the operating system, your computer cannot be used. All you need to do is to have at least one operating system installed in your computer system, then you can boot it up. Once the operating system is launched, it will have to load into memory and then load all of the necessary files that are required of the operating system to fully start on your computer system. The operating system will load, and that's the time you will see something rotating on your computer system as an animation. It is loading, and it will always be ready for use when you see icons appearing on your computer system. Sometimes the icons might be ready and the operating system just needs to ascertain whether you are the right person to use that system. So it will ask for the username and the password. Once you have loaded the username and the password known to the system, the operating system will verify and validate whether you are the right person. If the operating system verifies that you are the right person to use this system, it will then load what we call the desktop. The desktop is the view, is the window that you're seeing on this screen. This desktop has parts. This is what we call a desktop window, and at the bottom we have what we call a taskbar. The taskbar normally shows different applications that are running on your computer system. Currently, I have two programs, and at the extreme point of my taskbar is what we call a start button. I am currently running this class using a platform of Windows 10. However, this view changes, this icon changes with the version that you're using on your operating system. On the extreme right, we have the tray, the system tray. It is the system tray that helps us to see the date and the time and other additional services that are running on your computer system at a time. On top of your desktop, we have smaller pictorial images. These are what we call icons. An icon is a graphical representation of the real application. Each icon on the desktop normally has one or two, but at least it has to have at least one application that manages its files. Each application has an icon that is attached to it. However much a user can change their icons. Icons, we have different types of icons. We have the default icons that come with the operating system. These icons are meant to help us to have a smooth navigation through our computer system. These icons include the one that you see as this PC if you're running Windows 10, and if you're running Windows 7, you're supposed to see something like PC or computer. We have another one that we call the network. The network icon accesses the computer and devices that are on your computer network. If at all you want to get information on your network, you have to use the icon of the network. We have the recycle bin that contains the files and folders that you have deleted on your computer system. If you delete any files on your computer system, by default they are taken in the recycle bin. And if you want to retrieve them or to restore them back to their original positions, you open the recycle bin and restore files. We have the administrator. This is a file or a folder that helps you to easily access to your easy access to your documents and downloads. The name of this folder changes with the account that you are using at a time. I'm running an administrative account, so I have full administrative rights. That's why you see it as admin. That is the account name that I'm using right now. Alright, now that we have known our desktop, we have other icons that we need to know. These are the types of icons that have an arrow at the bottom left corner. These are what we call shortcut icons. They are shortcuts. They are shortcuts to the long route where the program is located. So instead of opening that long route, if I happen to open the location of Blender, Blender is found on logical drive C in the program files under the folder of Blender Foundation, and there you will find an application called Blender version 2.90. That is the long route we are talking about. However, to easily get access to this location, you only need to double click this icon and it will follow that route until it finds automatically that application. Then the application will be loaded into memory. Now that we have known our desktop, let us look at the basics of the mouse. The mouse and the keyboard are the major input devices, the most common input devices that we normally use when we are dealing with computer system. A keyboard is considered to be the primary input device because it is the keyboard that the engineers used to use before the innovation of the mouse. The mouse is a pointing device. It is also an input device, but majorly it is a pointing device. It is used to point at different components on your computer system. However, the mouse can also be used to select components on your computer system. Take for example, if I need to launch a program known as Lazarus. So I point at the program, I move my mouse, point at this program, and then if I need to select it, I only need to use the buttons that are located on my mouse. The mouse normally has 3 buttons. It has the left mouse button that is used to select. It has the left mouse button that is also used to open different programs in our computer system. To open a program or to open anything on your computer system, you only need to double click. Double clicking means you're going to press the left mouse button twice, like this. Once you have double clicked, your program will then load on your computer system. For any program that loads on your computer system, normally we call it a window. All normal windows will always have 3 buttons at the extreme right corner, top right corner. The cross is a close button. The middle one is the minimize or maximize or resize button. It is intended to resize the window that you're operating with. Then the minus is used to minimize the window. Once a program has been minimized, it will hide to your taskbar. To retrieve or to restore that program on the desktop, all you need to do is to point at the program, click using the left mouse button once, and your program will show back to your computer desktop. However, you can also minimize using the taskbar. All you need to do is to point at the program you want to minimize and then click once. So whenever you click once, it shows back on your desktop. Click again, it will hide away. Click again, it will show up. That is the easy way to hide and unhide programs. You can also close by clicking this button. Alternatively, you can also close using this taskbar. Whenever you want to use the closing button, you'll use the left mouse button. Click once and the program will be loaded out of memory. However, if you want to close using the taskbar, you just need to click using the right mouse button. The right mouse button is used to access a shortcut menu. Click using the right mouse button and you'll be given a shortcut menu through which you can close your window. Select close window. This time, if I need to click using the left mouse button, it will close the entire program and it will be loaded out of memory. That's how we operate these programs, right from the starting of the program to closing a program. Let's try the same thing using a different program. This time I'm going to use Hippo Animator 3. To open Hippo Animator 3, you can double click it using the left mouse button like this. And the program will be loaded into memory. Then it will show up on your computer desktop. You realize that even this program has what we call the close button, resize and minimize button. You can close the application and the application will be loaded out of memory. Now that you know how to open different applications and how to close them, let us look at how these applications are used and managed. Let's talk about file management. File management involves proper arrangement of files in your computer system so you can take less time to locate them. Once your computer system is not properly managed, more likely you're going to have files misplaced or misallocated to some places or allocations or locations that you cannot easily identify or remember. So to properly manage these files, we use what we call folders. A folder is a directory where files are kept in a computer system. Files of related topics are normally kept in one folder. Let us explore our computer and we see where to create different folders. To open the Explorer window, there are 2 or 3 types or 3 modes that you can use to open Explorer windows on your computer system. Let us use the Start button. Whenever you point at the Start button and you place the left mouse button, it's going to load what we call the Programs menu. You simply scroll to locate different programs on your computer system. However, we want to locate our Explorer window. All you need to do to locate the File Explorer, point your cursor to the Start button, right click at the Start button. We are using the right mouse button of our computer system, of our mouse. The right mouse button is what we are going to do, is what we are going to click at. Point at the Start button, right click, press it once, don't move it, position it well, right click once, and in the list, the shortcut list, locate File Explorer. Once you have located the File Explorer, click using the left mouse button. The left mouse button, like we have said before, it is used to select and open. When you double click, you are opening. When you click once, you are selecting. So I'm going to select using the left mouse button. Click once. Once you click at the system is going to load the Explorer window. The Explorer window normally loads with folders and applications that you have. Like, I need to remind you, I'm using Windows 7. Mine might be slightly different from yours, but locate up there, you should be able to locate File Explorer. That means this window that I'm using can help me to explore all files and all folders on my computer system. Let us select and see what these icons and folders mean. On the left side of your window, we have locations of different files. We have what we call this PC or computer if you're using Windows 7. Normally, it will show like that, and it has arrows pointing to the right. Whenever you see arrows pointing to the right, it means there is something hidden inside that object. Alternatively, it can be an arrow or a plus. Once it is a plus, you know there are things, hidden objects under what you're seeing right now. You can actually drop it down to see the content that is inside. However, if you simply click on top, you realize that whatever that is hidden in there will show to the right side. Let's take an explanation of these changes of these icons of the mouse pointers. When I move my mouse, you realize that my mouse pointer is an arrow. That means this arrow can enable me to open by double clicking. Whenever I want to open something, I should be able to double click it so that it loads on my computer system. However, sometimes you can move your object and you realize that this arrow does not change. But if I move to the locations and I move or I hover over, hovering, it means moving your mouse over something. That's what we call hovering. H-O-V-E-R, hover. Hovering over an object will select it, and sometimes you realize that whenever you hover or you move your mouse on top of different components, your arrow will turn into a hand, pointing hand. The pointing hand on a computer system, as long as you move your mouse over objects and your cursor changes into a pointing hand, it means that you can actually click once to open. Click once at this PC and you realize that this time I did not double click. I simply clicked once, and once I click, you realize that everything that was hiding in there had to show up on my computer system, and the name, the title of my window changed to this PC because I've just opened this PC, and the location is this PC. So I can be able to open this PC. So to open this PC, click once and everything will load to the right. Alternatively, I drop it down by clicking at the arrow or at the plus sign if the plus sign appears. Once I click at the plus sign, it is dropping downwards. That means I can be able now to see what is inside this PC. And what is inside this PC is 3D objects, desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, and local disk C. However, you realize that all these components are the same components that we see at the right side of your computer system. I can decide to open the 3D objects. Click at 3D objects and the 3D objects folder will open. I was in PC, then I opened 3D, and the title changes to 3D. I want to locate everything on the desktop, so I click desktop, and everything, all folders and programs that are on the desktop, the icons always show on the right side of my window. At the extreme right side, we have what we call a vertical scroll bar. The vertical scroll bar helps to move all components or objects on our computer screen up and down. That's what we call a vertical scroll bar. However, we can also have the horizontal scroll bar. The horizontal scroll bar, for it is normally at the bottom. If you have components going to the right, up to the extreme right, that means you will have components that you need to view, and they will be hidden to the right. You will need to use a horizontal scroll bar. Let us see whether we can see the use of the horizontal scroll bars. Let me try to change the views. Okay. Oops. Alright, we shall see that more applicable when it comes to typical applications. If I need to select or have attached a flash disk on my computer system, the only way I can get direct access to this flash disk is to go through the computer, select this PC, and all gadgets that are attached on my computer system will be visible on the right. So will be the flash disk. I am going to attach my flash disk to this PC so that I can be able to access it on my computer. Once you have attached your flash disk on your computer system, the system is going to make some sound. Let me attach it again. Once you hear that sound, it means there is a drive or a storage device that has been attached to your computer system. And your computer system will automatically load this drive on the right. To open the attached USB drive, or what we call a flash disk, all I need to do is to look on the left side, locate the flash disk, click it once, and it will open just like we have done before. However, You can do the same thing using this PC, and you double click. Double clicking, we said it is using the left mouse button to double click. Place it in this interval. Everything that will have on this flash disk will display on your computer system. Okay? You can change their views. If you're running Windows 10, you simply need to click at View, and you can select different views. These views will have to change according to the view layout that you have selected. Now that we know how to access different locations on our computer system, let us talk about how to manage files on my computer system. To manage a file in my computer system, it is always better to store files on drives, on storage devices. You don't have to store files on storage, something that is not a storage device. Let me pose a question to you. Let me pose a question to you, my viewer. Is the desktop a storage device or not? If your answer is no, then you're right. If your answer is yes, then you possibly need to follow me as I take you to the reality of verifying that a desktop is not a storage device. A storage device are all we see in this list. We have logical disk C. We have the DVD rewritable drive D. And we also have the USB drive E. These storage devices can be attached to alphabetical letters. The desktop is one of the folders in the operating system, and the operating system was installed on local disk C. That's why we have the icon of Windows, the same icon that appears down there. It appears on local disk C. That means we actually have the running operating system existing or installed on local disk C. To open, double click at it and it will open. Now we want to verify whether the desktop is part of the operating system folders. I want to navigate to users. These are the accounts that are on my computer system. I have 3 users. Now I want to open admin account. Once I am in admin account, you realize that I still have a desktop, and the desktop, to open it, it will let me see everything that is on the desktop. Now I want to resize this window, and I verify with what I see on the desktop. Click the resize window button. Once it has been resized, I can now move it to the right. Click and hold at the title bar. Click using the left mouse button. Click and hold it. Don't release it. Move your mouse so that you can be able to move the window to the right. Now release. Let's verify. On our actual desktop, we have something like PhD folder. Let's look for PhD. It's there. We have some folder called Jerusalem Entebbe. Click at it. It's there, and in there is Jerusalem Entebbe. I have programs icons on my desktop. I have a program called Ashampo Burning Studio 6 free. Let's verify. Click here, scroll through. Do we have Ashampo or not? Ashampo or not? Let's locate Ashampo. Shampoos should be there. To easily locate something, you can as well click once at anything and then press letter A on your keyboard so that you can easily locate it. So it will go on selecting all A's. Okay, I think it's failing to locate a shampoo. Let's look for something like rapid typing. Rapid typing 4 is there, right? So how about source TB18? It is a folder. It's there. One more so that we can verify that yes, it is the truth. We have something, an object called grass. It's there. Now let's locate grass. Yes, grass is there, right? So we have just verified that it is one of the folders in the operating system. We can possibly do the same thing using run. Okay, so down there in the search, let us search for the run. We are going to actually use one of the operating systems known as disk operating system. So I need to type in command cmd and then press enter or OK. So the cmd will load something like this, command prompt. So in the command prompt, we are going to use the disk operating system. So it is one of the most boring though interesting to use. It finds things by just using commands. That's why many people don't actually use this type of interface. So talking about interfaces, we basically have two types of interfaces. We have the graphical user interface, which is this, and then we have the command line interface, which is this. So I'm using command line interface and I want to display everything, directory all, and I'll be able to access all directories on drive C. Okay, I'm just resizing this window, and once I select dir directory shortcut, short name for directory, the slash is a switch. So dir show me all directories on my computer system. So what I need to do is to go through this list. Do I have a desktop? Yes, I have a desktop somewhere there. So the this desktop, as long as it has dir, that means it is a directory. And we have said a folder is a directory. So that's why we need to confirm to this. Let us see what is inside this directory. So to see what is inside the directory, we shall change directory. cd, can use capital letters, cd, then you type what you want to access. Change directory to desktop, press enter, and now the command prompt has changed from admin and has changed to enter directory of desktop. Let us display the directory all so that we see everything in our desktop. And voila, behold everything on our desktop. We have something, let us verify. We have something like Classical Collection Volume 2, and it is a directory. Let us verify with this graphical user interface. We have Classical Collection Volume 2, and it is a directory. We have something called Footage. It is a directory. Let us verify with this graphical user interface. We have a footage there. It's a directory. We have something called, let us switch down. We have something called WPS Office.lnk. This is a shortcut. So WPS Office, it is a shortcut. That means it's an icon. It's an icon on your desktop. Let us verify. WPS, it's an icon. It's a shortcut. Okay. So applies to WPS PDF. It is a shortcut. Let us verify that. WPS PDF, it is a shortcut. So we have just confirmed to the fact that desktop is not a storage device. Whenever you store things on your desktop, you are actually storing them to one of the folders in your operating system. This is kind of risky. Otherwise, whenever you store things on your desktop directly, you are standing a risk that your computer can be attached or attacked by a virus. And once a virus attacks it, it will also attack the operating system. So this means that you will lose files. All your files on the desktop will be damaged, possibly. All your files in my downloads, it will be damaged. All files on the documents will be damaged. So because once the virus attacks and someone wants to format your computer, he will format the drive that has the operating system. So this means that whenever you have your computer system, please store files on any other apart from the one that has the icon of your operating system. That way you'll be safely storing your data, so that even if someone is to format your computer system, your data remains intact and safe. Alright, let's look at how to create folders. How do we create folders? How do we create these directories on our computer system? All you need to do is to locate where you want to create a folder. Double click at that location. I want to create a folder on drive E, which is my flash disk. Double click to open it. Alternatively, right click. The shortcut menu pops up. In the shortcut menu, select open. Once it is opened, you can actually create sample data on this computer system. You can create data there. You can actually manage your data on this flash disk. To create a folder, there are various types or various versions that you can use. You ensure that if you're using Windows 10, click at the Home tab, and in the Home tab select New Folder. Once you have clicked at the new folder will get created, but it has a temporary name. Delete using the delete mouse button on your keyboard or the backspace key, and the name will go out of the way. Now I need to create just push your buttons on your keyboard, my files for storage. Then you just need to click at any location to confirm to your name. Click at any location, any in the white space, or alternatively press the enter key on your keyboard so that the name is confirmed. The lining that was around this name disappears. All you need to do, open it, just double click at it. Now I have moved to my files for storage. You realize that in the left side on USB drive, I can be able to drop it down further, and I'll have access to my files for storage. Now I want to create an additional file for computer applications in this file. Let me just close this window. Okay, so I want to create a folder, and in this folder I want to create a folder for computer applications. So I click new folder. Ensure that you have clicked at the Home tab and select new folder. If you're using Windows 10, you're supposed to see your window like this. But if you're using Windows 7, you're supposed to see a button at the top there around this place that has new folder. Click at it. You'll be operating the same way, just like I am doing right now. Click at new folder. Another folder is created. This folder is created within a folder called my files for storage, and I'm calling it, deleting it out its name, temporary name. Now I want to attach my other file name or folder name. The folder name I want there is computer applications. After typing computer applications, I want to confirm to the name computer applications. Click out in the white space, and computer application has just been created. The date of modifications is today, 26th of April 2021 at 9 minutes past 4 p.m. The type is a file folder. Please, you need to know the type and the icon that you expect. Otherwise, sometimes it is possible that a virus has been attacking your system, or you have a virus on your computer system, and you'll see the folder icon, but the type is application. That means that is a virus. Delete it off. Otherwise, before it damages your computer system, all you need to do is you'll be opening as if you're opening a folder, but actually the type is an application. It means that you'll be launching a virus. Virus is an application. Okay. Alright, so I want to create an additional folder to my files for storage. Click folder, delete it off, and call it database management systems. Press enter to confirm the name, and the name has been confirmed. Now that you have learned how to use that button, let us right click and use the shortcut menu. Right click at where you want to create your folder, move your mouse vertically and select new. You want to create new folder. Move your mouse horizontally and select folder. Same issue happens. Now I want to create operating systems. Press enter to confirm the name. Now I want to go into computer applications. Double click at it to open it. Now just look at this root. It has this PC. In this PC I went to USB drive, and in the USB drive I opened my files for storage. In my files for storage I opened a folder there which is computer applications. Let us see the drop down here. In E I opened my files for storage. Drop it down, you have other files there. So I am in this file. Okay, since I have nothing there, I can actually create one more folder. Right click and select new folder and call it introduction. Press enter to confirm. Now you realize that what I have entered can be accessed. Initially it didn't have a drop down. Now it has a drop down. You click at the triangle or an arrow or plus sign so that it drops down to computer, introduction to computing. However, the name computing is misspelled. How do we correct such mistakes? What we need to do is to right click at what you want to rename, right click at it and select rename. Do not make this mistake of right clicking as you move your mouse. Otherwise, you'll end up having a different menu. To have the menu that you expect to have, right click, position your mouse properly, right click at the word and then select, move your mouse and select rename. So it has taken you to the stage where you're supposed to do the naming from. All you need to do to avoid deleting it off entirely, move your insertion cursor, that I like structure, move it to the place where you want the M to appear. Click once and the insertion cursor is blinking at that point. Just need to place M so that the word becomes computing and press enter to confirm to the name. Now that you have just created yourself folders, this is the main folder, and then within the main folder we have other subfolders. This is a subfolder, and within a subfolder I have a subfolder. So sometimes you need to know how to properly arrange your files. My file that I need to create in my files for storage, I need folders there, but still I need other files also. So I might create a file using a shortcut menu. To use a shortcut menu, press right click using the right mouse button, move your mouse and select new. Once you've selected new, you select which file you want to create. I want to create a Microsoft Word file. So it's a document file. It says document. Alternatively, we can actually use docx. It is an extended, it was a file created using Office 7, Office 13 and upgraded versions of Microsoft. Otherwise, once you have Microsoft Office 2003 or earlier versions, you'll have Microsoft Document and it will have a doc extension. So click at what you want to create. I want to create the one of doc. Once I create it, it will appear there, doc, and I want to create it and name it Animal Farm. Okay, Animal Farm, and then press enter to confirm to the name. So I basically have an application, a file created. This file can be managed by Microsoft Word. So it is a file associated with doc. Sometimes you might have something like animalfarm.doc. As long as it ends with .doc, it means you have Microsoft Word application managing that file. Let's look at another. Select text file, text document, but I want a text file. This one is managed by Microsoft, it's managed by Notepad. So this is, I'm going to call it files and their extensions. Then I need to open it. Double click to open. Once you double click, it will automatically find an application that can manage its files, its content. So we shall have as files, and then we possibly have the file extensions, and then we basically have the application that is responsible for that file, to open and manage that file. Alright, so let me zoom, let me change the font so that what I'm going to do can be clear. Otherwise we don't want to talk about some stuff and we can't understand what we're talking about. Can be like, what the hell is he talking about? Don't want to get that extent of what the hell. Okay, so that's what we have, and we shall possibly draw some line there, nice and clear. Okay, so we shall have first possibly like animal farm. The file extension, possibly what we can have, normally what we call a file extension, it associates with a particular application. So the last three letters that appear after after a file name, we have it as the file extension. So this is particularly a file name or file names. Okay, so file names, and we have the extension. Okay, sometimes it is .t, as long as it's .txt, it could be file name .txt. all right, the file that is responsible for that, it is Notepad. Notepad is this application that I'm using now. Okay, so on top there it has file Notepad. So the application that is responsible to open all .txt files, it is a Notepad by default normally. However, you can have other text editors. Then we can have animals on farm, and the file extension is .doc, or it can also be .docs. Okay, that application that is responsible for such file extensions is Microsoft Word. It's a Word document. You can have farm manager, okay, and the file extension possibly it is PPT. PPT files are normally managed by Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so when I want to create such a file of file manager or farm manager.ppt, I right click and I select new PPT presentation, and I call it farm manager. Press enter. So the file extension for this PPT presentation, okay, it's a presentation file, and it is created by PowerPoint normally by default. You can possibly have another, and we can have as farm management. The file extension that you need to have for file management, it is XLS. Okay, it is Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. So it is a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet file. Okay, so that's how we attach this. You can also have something like myself. So once it is myself and it has .png. PNG is an image. Okay, this one can be opened by all photo editors. Okay, can be opened by photo applications. Okay, like Paint can be opened by Microsoft Picture Manager or any other, as long as it has any of this PNG. You can have .bmp bitmap. Okay, that's also an image. You can also have .jpg. Okay, then you can have GIF. Okay, all these are photos. They are photos that you can possibly have. So to create them, we normally use applications that are associated with photos or photography to create such files. Alright, so there are various file extensions that you need to know and possibly work it out. So these are some common file extensions that you need to know. Back to our computer management or file management, you can actually perform different file operations on different files. Take for example, we can open a file. To double click, it will open a file. You can actually copy a file from one location to another. To copy a file, it will just duplicate the original file to some new location. However, you can actually move files from one point to another. Let us first copy a file. To copy a file, all you need to do is to select what you want to copy. Then on top in the menu, all you need to do is to select copy. Okay, copy to, select copy to what? Okay, I'm copying back to what? So possibly you can simply select copy to and then select where you want to locate or choose location. Okay, but if your final destination is already in that list, all you need to do is to select that final destination and your file will automatically go to that location that you have chosen. But if not, all you need to do, it will require you to select choose location. Under the choose location, you will realize that it will provide you with different locations that are appearing on the left side. So you need to know where you need to put your copy of this original. I want this copy to go to other files, okay, but other files is not there. Can I possibly create it? Yes, you can. I want it to be created on disk, USB drive, and then in USB drive, all I need to do is select this file for storage. So it will create a drop down automatically, but I want other files to be within, it will be among these files. Okay, so I select my files for storage and then select make new folder within this folder. So I select make new folder and realize that up there I already have the new folder created, and I can be able to create it, delete it out, and then enter other files and press enter to confirm. So it renames other files automatically, and then select I want to copy this folder and then select copy. Let us check and verify that Animal Farm exists in this file. Alright, so this time around I'm going to drop it. Other file is already there. Click at other files and I have Animal Farm within other files. When I go back to the original, I still have an original copy. Alright, so that's the way we can copy files from one location to another. However, you can delete files. Let us open other files and we delete it out. So select what you want to delete and press the delete key on your keyboard. Okay, you just need to select. Let us see the keyboard, and we see the keys that we need to press. So if this is our keyboard, select the file that you need to actually work with, or delete it out. On your keyboard, locate what we have as del. DEL. DEL is an abbreviation for delete. So possibly just need to press it, and the computer system will have to ask, are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? Simply say, okay, yes, I want to delete it. Can I delete it? Yes. And once it is deleted, ladies and gentlemen, normally it goes to what we call a recycle bin, okay, which is this folder. Normally it goes there, though mine I specify don't take it. As long as you have deleted it, let it be out, okay? So if you accidentally deleted something, normally it is taken in there. Alright? Okay, so let's go back and verify whether our original file still exists. Let's check my files for storage, and our original file is there. Can we rename it? And we say Animal Farms. Yes, right click and select rename, and then select Animal Farms. Press enter. That way it has been renamed. However, we can also copy and paste that we have looked at. Now we can drag and drop. Okay, we can drag and drop. That's one way of copying and pasting. You can move all components around the screen. Okay, so to drag and drop, it will be dragging something, you point at it, click using the left mouse button, click and hold, don't release the mouse button, click and hold it, then move the mouse. You realize that the mouse is moving something, and it tells you, I want to drop it to applications, computer applications. Move it on top of computer applications and drop it, release the mouse. So it is no longer within, it has been taken to computer applications. That method is what we call drag and drop. You simply drag something from one location and you drop it into another location. You can as well drag something from one location and drop it into your other location. But you need to take caution when you're doing this. As long as what you're dropping or what you're dragging, you're dropping it in a folder in another location, normally it will be lost on the originals. Okay, so I dragged Animal Farms into computer applications. The computer applications is within the same location with my file. That means my file was just relocated, not duplicated. Otherwise, if I simply move, this is the file. Let's select something that is a little light. Okay, let's select this setup. So if I want to copy this setup using the drag and drop, I'm going to drag it off the desktop into my flash. So for it, this is it is existing on the logical drive C, and I'm dropping it to a logical drive E, which are different locations. So what we need to do is click and hold, don't release the mouse, move. Once you move, don't release it until it goes to your final destination. So my final destination is, you'll even see on my cursor, it has copy to my files for storage. If I need it to go to other files, move it on top of other files, and you see the wording will have to change to other files. To operating system, it changes. Then direct route changes to my files for storage. Click, you simply release, let go of the mouse, and your files will be copied there. So you can actually move files from different locations into another location. We have now looked at how to copy and paste, or how to copy and move it a duplicated version of the original into a new location. We can actually do what we call cut and paste. Let's do copy and paste first. Using a keyboard, all you need to do is select what you need to copy, press the Ctrl key of your keyboard. Let's get the keyboard. So press this Ctrl key, hold it down. Once you have pressed the Ctrl key and you held it down, don't release it. Then press letter C. Okay, as long as you have pressed letter C, Ctrl C, that is a shortcut combination for copy. Now open where you want to paste. You want to paste in other files. So double click to open that location, and then this time around press Ctrl V. Ctrl V will enable you to paste at that location. Okay, so we have said you click at the file, press Ctrl, and then press letter C to copy, and then move to other files, press Ctrl, hold it down, press letter V. Okay, so once you press letter V, you realize that a copy has been added there. That is copy and paste. Copy is Ctrl C. Then pasting is Ctrl V. V is for pasting, Ctrl C is for copying. Then you just need to cut and paste. To cut and paste is a digital version of cutting something out of the original place and you paste it to some other location. So I'm going to cut this farm manager out. So to cut, you actually select cut, and now it will turn to a little faint layout. Go to other files, and then this time around I need to paste. So it's pasted there. So cut and paste will actually move the file from its original location to other location. So that's what we call cut and pasting. So I'm going to cut this folder, that folder, and that folder. I'm going to cut them out, but this time around I'm going to select them concurrently. So I select the first, then press Ctrl, and then select another. Ctrl is held, select another. Alright, then you can actually do the cut. Okay, and then move to a new location. Or I made a mistake, oh my god. So all I need to do is to go to another location, a new location, select this, press Ctrl, select another, Ctrl, select. So pressing Ctrl, it helps us to select more than one object simultaneously. Then I need to cut, okay, cut it out, and then open this and then paste it there. Alright, so I have actually left with only one folder, and the rest of the folders are within this one folder. That's the use of cut and paste. The shortcut key combination for cut and paste is cutting is this time is not C. C is for copying. Cut is X. Control X. Let me cut this farm manager out and possibly this one. So I press the first one, press the Control key on my keyboard, and then select the second one. Now I need to cut. So press the Control key and press letter X. Okay? So letter X will have to cut things out. Then can be able to move to this folder and then paste everything there. Control V will paste stuff there. Okay, so it is taken out from other files and it is taken back to its original state. That's how we copy files from one location to another, and that's how we cut files from one location to another. Next that you need to do when you're doing your file management, you possibly need to look at what we call file properties. For file properties enables us to specify which file can have different properties. Properties like hidden, you can hide a file from vicinity. Someone can think as if the file is not there, but in actual sense the file is there. So you can actually do what we call box selection. So click and hold the left mouse button, and you don't release the mouse button. You just need to move and enclose all that you need to be affected. That's what we call box selection. Other people call it highlighting. When you highlight something, you can actually perform a number of properties on this object. So right clicking will enable me to put some properties and then select properties. So these are properties of all components that I've selected, and I need to hide them. Click hidden, attribute hidden, and then select apply. I want the effect to be applied to the selected items and the items inside those items, and I'll select OK, and they disappear. They are hidden. Click OK. This time around the file will show this folder is empty. That means someone might think the folder is empty, but in reality the folder is not empty. The folder has some hidden information, the information that you cannot easily get access to. How do we get these files back? Have we lost our files permanently? The folder is empty. No, the files are there. So what you possibly need to do is to click at the view. Once you are in the view window, you have the option of hidden. If you're using Windows 10, Select hidden items, and the hidden items will show on your desktop. Alternatively, you can as well use options under the View tab. Select Options and select Change Folder and Search Options. Then locate View. Under View, select Show Hidden Files and Folders. Click Apply and click OK. So now that we have seen these files, can we make changes? Yes, you can. You work with them as if they are not hidden. Okay. However, you can also take off the hidden property. Highlight or box select. Click and hold your left mouse button and move your mouse upwards. However, you can do the same thing from the left or right. Click and hold and enclose what you want to enclose. You click and hold what you want to enclose. From all angles you can box select. Don't think it has to come from the bottom to top. After selecting them, right click and select properties, and then take off this hidden. Check it off. Click the hidden tick and it checks off. Then click apply. All changes, it's as if you are reversing what you had done. Click OK and then OK. So they are back. Even if now we hide, they are back to their normal status. So this is one way you can actually hide files from other people who are not supposed to see the content that you possibly have on your computer system. Another method is what we call encryption, but we shall look at that when we are dealing with the computer security, not now. Thank you. That ends this session of file management and exploring your computer system. Hope to see you again in the next digital class. Thank you. Stay safe.